You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. In 10 on your side, a veteran needing transportation for life-saving dialysis 4 days a week learns the VA will not pay for his ride anymore. We look into why and a possible solution. And in dollars and cents, why back-to-school shopping is starting earlier and costing more. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartell takes us into not just any airplane, but an airplane converted into a home. ABC10 Plus This Week starts now.
You already know what we're starting with in the redistricting battle. We are getting our first look at the proposed maps of California's redrawn congressional districts. Now, this is part of Governor Gavin Newsom's plan to deliver more Democrats to the U.S. House of Representatives. That's in direct response to efforts by Texas Governor Greg Abbott to redistrict in favor of Republicans. I want to bring in ABC10's Becca Hobbecker, who has been following this very closely all day, joining us live in studio. Becca, these newly published maps came into our newsroom literally right before our evening newscast, right?
Yeah, Alex, we were waiting for them all day, knowing that they were supposed to come out today, and indeed they did. Late in the afternoon, we've been waiting on these, in fact, for more than 2 weeks, ever since Governor Gavin Newsom announced his plan. He wants to hold a special election in November to change the district boundaries, to flip at least 5 House seats from Republican to Democrat. Now, President Donald Trump has asked Texas to flip 5 seats to Republican, which the governor there is working to do. So let's take a look at what Governor Newsom is proposing. This is the map ABC10 received late Friday afternoon from the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. California has 52 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. That number is not changing. Currently, 9 of them are held by Republicans. This proposed map targets Republican Representatives Kevin Kiley of Rockland, Doug LaMalfa of Richville and the northeast portion of the state, David Valadeo of Bakersfield and Corcoran, Daryl Issa, representing portions of San Diego and Riverside counties, and Ken Calvert of the Inland Empire. Those 5 stand to lose their seats. Only 4 Republicans remain in what are considered safe districts, and some Democrats in swing districts will find themselves in safer Democratic strongholds. I spoke with Paul Mitchell of Redistricting Partners, who drew these maps.
We have these 5 Democratic pickups, but we also have about 5 seats where we have Democrats who maybe won by a couple hundred votes in the last election, and we can't afford for a Republican to pick that seat up and eat into these potential gains. So we did a lot to bolster Democratic candidates up and down the state that are potentially in tough races, like Adam Gray in the Central Valley.
Keep in mind, California has an independent redistricting commission that is in charge of redrawing congressional districts after each U.S. Census. Newsom's proposal would temporarily put their maps on hold for the next 3 election cycles, returning to the commission after the 2030 census. Adopting this proposed map through 2030 is a decision that would come down to voters this November, and if approved, go into effect with the 2026 midterm elections.
And make no mistake, I will run for and win re-election regardless of the governor's attempt to slice up and gerrymander my district.
Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley is one whose district is targeted by this map. He says he thinks voters will reject them.
They want to keep the Independent Citizens Commission in place. They want to keep our district lines as they were drawn by that independent commission. They don't want to go back to the era of partisan gerrymandering with self-interested politicians drawing the lines themselves. So as long as the truth gets out, California voters will overwhelmingly reject this proposition.
Governor Newsom, on the other hand, says he's confident Californians will approve the maps.
We anticipate these maps will completely neuter and neutralize what is happening in Texas. Donald Trump does not play fair. You've seen that happen over and over again, and I'm just not going to sit back and be complicit.
He said he hopes other Democratic states follow suit so Democrats can regain control of the House in the midterms. Now, Congressman Kiley has proposed a bill at the federal level that would ban all states, red or blue, from redistricting mid-decade, allowing for new maps to be drawn only in the wake of each U.S. Census. Alex?
All right, Becca, thank you.
City leaders in Modesto are trying to make roads safer tonight by approving a $3 million program to cut down on red light runners. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the details.
The speeding cars, the honking horns, in Modesto, the normal bustle of Briggsmore Avenue. And soon joining the scene on the street, flashing lights.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. Modesto council members this week gave the green light to cameras that'll catch people running red lights.
I will be supporting this effort. I think that we have to try every tool in the toolbox.
3 of the 10 red light cameras will be on Briggsmore. The 5-year contract will cost almost $3 million, but Modesto PD staff will have to review the footage before tickets hit mailboxes.
In all cases, we are going to, use the lens of reasonableness and see if we think that there's a risk to the public. So we have an alarming trend in terms of traffic fatalities. For 2023, we had a 26% increase in collisions.
There are already red light cameras all across the city of Modesto, including right here at Prescott and Briggsmore. But these cameras are probably older than the phone in your pocket. They haven't even been used in over a decade. And since then, there have been plenty of tech advancements.
I think the benefit of the new system compared to what we had previously is we now have a video clip to really try and gain more information. We can set a speed threshold for right turns so that if people are still slowly and safely clearing the intersection, they're not receiving a citation.
But not everyone's in the same lane.
I see red light cameras as a band-aid rather than a real solution.
If you really care about reducing collisions, you redesign the roads. You don't just add a deterrent.
City leaders say the cameras are just the first step.
Studies are being done at these various intersections. There have been renderings that are potentially going to come forward.
But for now, on busy streets like Briggsmore, the change will come with a flash. In Modesto, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Yeah, good to know, Gabriel. Thank you. When the cameras launch in the next couple of months, they'll start with a 30-day warning period. Any revenue generated from the cameras will go into the city's traffic safety fund. In tonight's Dollars and Cents. Back-to-school shopping started earlier than usual this year nationwide, according to new research. A local economics professor I talked with explains what to expect price-wise and some strategies to help you save money.
Is last year's backpack good enough for this year?
It's questions like these many families are asking right now.
Basically, if you look at the prices over the past year, let's say, school supplies have gone up.
The most recent data from the Consumer Price Index shows educational books and supplies from May 2025 compared to May 2024 is up about 10%. UC Davis economics professor Derek Stimmel says price changes might not be so noticeable on things like pens and pencils because they're typically smaller parts of a shopper's back-to-school budget. But Stimmel says shoppers might notice price changes on typically more expensive items like new sneakers and clothes, even though the most recent Bureau of Labor Statistics data on the Consumer Price Index shows apparel across the board is down about 0.5% from June 2025 compared to June 2024. And as Stimmel explains, the basic principles of supply and demand might also impact your bottom line.
People expect higher prices. They take action based on that to kind of run out and buy the things now. But because they do that, it ends up pushing up the prices.
The National Retail Federation says 67% of shoppers nationwide already started buying items for this upcoming school year in early July, an all-time high since 2018, compared to 55% last year. A new survey by U.S. News finds 85% of Americans are concerned about rising back-to-school prices due to tariffs.
It's sounding like a little bit of a catch-22 here. Is there any strategy or any way that families can end up saving?
The obvious things are basically trying to substitute for things that are maybe a little bit less expensive, not buying the brand name thing, but buying cheaper alternative.
Most school supplies come from China, according to the Observatory of Economic Complexity. As of this month, goods from China are already taxed at least 30%.
If you can, I would try not to put these things on your credit card and carry the balances because credit card interest rates are quite high right now and have been for a few years.
Instead, Stimmel suggests carve out some space in your budget to pay for back-to-school items in cash or pay off your credit card balance in full. Finance website NerdWallet also recommends using cashback apps and buying in bulk.
If it's really straining your budget, this now might be the time to try a couple stores, look online first to see what the prices are, so you have a better sense as to whether you might be getting a little bit of a deal or not.
You'll also want to keep an eye on inflation. The Labor Department's most recent data from July, released just yesterday, shows inflation rose by 2.7%, similar to June, which was the highest level since February. Some economists say that's an early sign tariffs are having an effect on prices. Remember, your money questions have answers. Email me at lpainter@abc10.com and stream all of my dollars and cents stories right now on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app.
Well, the VA claims they just made a big improvement for all veterans. It comes after a veteran in Placer County reached out to 10 on Your Side, saying the VA abruptly stopped paying for transportation to his dialysis appointments. We went in search of answers.
Well, I thought, wow. I mean, it was kind of a shock because it wasn't, how do I get there? How do I get back? Whatever, this is what it cost me, so.
82-year-old veteran Michael Misi proudly flies the American flag outside his Roseville home. He fought for his country and never had any desire to go to battle with the VA over his health care.
Oh, I felt bad. I mean, I really felt cheated because this has been going on for 2 years.
Take a look. He wrote this message to 10 on Your Side, saying, I have end-stage kidney disease and go to dialysis 4 days a week. Without this dialysis, I will end up in hospice.
Yeah, if I didn't go to dialysis 4 times a week, I'd probably have 2 or 3 weeks, literally.
He explained, currently I get a ride from Always Best Care. They provide a car and driver each day. For about the last 2 years, they've been billing the VA and the VA pays them directly. I got a call from the VA today where they said the VA will no longer pay for transportation, so I'll be on my own for rides each dialysis day. He says he ended up paying out of pocket.
And how much are we talking here about? $80, you said?
$80 a week, $160 every 2 weeks, $320 a month.
Those unexpected monthly payments left him turning to 10 on Your Side.
I just wanted to let you know that maybe you can make us talk to the VA or something, ask them, why did they change after 2 years?
The VA tells me it's all basically a big misunderstanding, saying the VA never canceled transportation services for Mr. Misi through Always Best Care. Mr. Misi can continue scheduling his transportation with Always Best Care, which requires an upfront payment that is 100% reimbursable by VA for travel associated with VA care. And just days ago, they sent me this news release announcing simplified travel claims can now be submitted on the VA mobile app, a service they admittedly call a major upgrade, reiterating that Mr. Misi can now get full reimbursement for his travel and insisting the reimbursement process has now been greatly improved for all veterans through the updated app. Stay with us for updates. Meanwhile, do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? Email me at onyourside@abc10.com. Popular Sacramento-based restaurant chain Kikis Chicken Place announced 10 locations will be parting ways with the brand.
And the company claims some of its operators didn't share the same vision. We're told one of them found out on social media. ABC 10's Austin Castro talked with the founder and some of the impacted franchises today. He joins us live now from one of the locations in Stockton.
Okay, Austin, what can you tell us about the talks that led to this change for those 10 locations?
Well, Chris and Laura, this Stockton location is one of those locations mentioned in that recent announcement. Now today, the owner of this Stockton location tells me she feels blindsided and is actually looking to remain in operation. Her years of hard work into this business now turning into a troublesome situation for her.
I don't open my business to close down. My location is Stockton.
For Cassie, her Kikis Chicken Place location on North Wilson Way in Stockton is her livelihood. First, starting as an employee, working her way up to an owner. Recently, she learned her Stockton location would be parting ways with the Kikis brand.
I can say very sad. We don't receive any news before they going to asking for us to say to the customers, we are closing this. I'm going to investigate.
The president and owner of Kikis Chicken announcing the location's impacted to, quote, return to quality-focused roots.
There's too much variance right now, and so you're not getting a consistent experience, and it's not the Kikis that it was once.
Following this change, their brick and mortar footprint drops from 25 locations down to 15.
Were there other challenges? Yes, definitely. But, we don't want to go into that.
Some former partners like Fred Akbarpour claimed there was a lack of support for the amount of franchise fees they were paying. However, he's taking a positive outlook, rebranding his location as Chicken Guys with a similar menu.
We, as a group, we thought that parting away, doing our own thing, brings better opportunities for better growth for the future of all the locations.
For owners like Diaz, she's looking forward to continuing serving the community at the business she's worked so hard for over the years.
I make a lot of friends in here. I met a lot of great people, and this is my life.
Now, Diaz goes on to tell me that she has no plans to shut her door at the Stockton location at this time. She also remains in conversations with those higher ups at Kiki. Now, as for Chicken Guy, they are looking at it as a new opportunity for growth, potentially expanding to new locations and franchising further out. Reporting in Stockton, Austin Castro, ABC 10.
Sounds good, Austin. Thank you for that update.
Continuing coverage in Citrus Heights. A new twist in the fight over the future of Sunrise Mall. The city of Citrus Heights may be looking to buy a big part of it. Council members actually talked about it tonight behind closed doors.
While no decision has been made just yet, ABC 10's Garshpal Sangha explains why the city might be taking this approach.
For decades, Sunrise Mall has been the retail heartbeat of Citrus Heights, but now much of that sits empty, and the city may be stepping in to change that.
I have to report from closed session, no reportable action.
Wednesday's agenda included real estate negotiations with Namdar Realty Group, which owns most of the mall, roughly 50 acres, including the former Macy's and the central portion of the property. Meanwhile, the city has been ramping up the pressure against the company, issuing more than $300,000 worth in fines for code enforcement and public nuisance penalties. The city's redevelopment plan, Sunrise Tomorrow, calls for a mix of housing, retail, hotels, and offices, but progress has been slow. Following years of hearings and meetings, longtime shoppers say the place needs help, fast.
Absolutely, 35 years. Yes, and our shopping experience today was tumbleweeds. It's sad. It's desolate. It's bland. It's flat. There's no life here.
This is the center of our town, and it has a lot of potential.
The city sent ABC10 this statement about possibly buying a portion of the Sunrise Mall site. Quote, "It is well known the city is considering many options related to Sunrise Mall, and the potential acquisition is in the universe of those options." The city went on to say if it moves forward, it would happen in a public meeting with community input. Reporting from Citrus Heights, Garshpal Sangha, ABC 10.
Garshpal, thank you. Sunrise Mall first opened in the early 1970s. The owner of the property did not respond to our request for comment on whether it's seriously considering the city's offer to sell.
It is time now for all things current California politics. I'm Walt Gray, joined this week again by Rich Eisen from Capital Weekly, editor-in-chief. Rich, the state treasurer's race has gotten nasty. We have Ana Caballero, state senator, running for that position. Eleni Kounalakis, who was running for governor, now running for state treasurer. Caballero saying Kounalakis comes from money, can't decide whether she wants to be governor, can't decide whether she wants to be treasurer. Is it usual to have the state treasurer's race getting nasty like this?
Well, not in my memory.
Okay.
It definitely is not something that's a normal thing. I think this part and parcel, I think there's a fair amount of resentment toward Eleni Kounalakis in some areas of government. And look, we tend to put Dems all in one box, and that's just not true. I mean, one Democratic lawmaker that I know describes it as 50 shades of blue.
Okay.
That's pretty common. But Caballero's been working toward this for a long time. Suddenly, Eleni gets into the race with all of her money and a previous endorsement from Nancy Pelosi. I think there's definitely some resentment there. Plus,
It's understandable, right? Caballero probably figured this was my gig. big, and then all of a sudden, Kounalakis drops down with a lot of money. So you can understand the beef.
Well, and look, there's not a lot of respect for the job of the lieutenant governor to begin with.
It's like vice president.
Yeah, let's be real. I mean, you know, being the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee is a lot more responsibility in many ways than the lieutenant governor.
Okay, redistricting.
Yeah.
This is so hot right now.
Yeah.
So in terms of California, you have Kevin Kiley, James Gallagher, both saying, don't even think about this. This is not the way to go. However, Texas is going forward. California saying we're going to go forward. At this point, where do you land on this?
Well, you know, there are a lot of folks, including our former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and others, Charles Munger, with a lot of money, who've been behind the Redistricting Commission for a long time. They make valid points, but we're in very extraordinary times here. And the reality is, you know, people have been clamoring for Dems to do something to fight back against a lot of the things we've seen Donald Trump do, who has no inclination whatsoever to follow laws. We have seen this. What we are seeing in Texas, if they're going to do it, I really don't know what choice California and maybe other blue states will have.
Well, wouldn't Gallagher and Kiley see that in terms of, look, Texas is starting this fight. What are we supposed to do?
Jim Gallagher has been complaining about Gavin Newsom's gallivanting around the country for a long time. You know, look, some of these guys have long-term ambitions themselves, and changing the congressional maps in particular, once you're termed out of the legislature, is going to have an impact on them. Kevin Kiley is one of the lawmakers being targeted. Some of this is very personal. Let's put it that way.
I can understand that. Okay, race for governor, which we tend to land on a lot here. Barbara Boxer has endorsed Antonio Villaraigosa, former mayor of Los Angeles. Does that matter at this point? And I want to put up a poll, the most recent poll from Emerson College, which is showing where people are landing right now. Katie Porter is in the lead, and we've talked about Katie Porter before. She's at the top, but look at number 2 and number 3. Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco are Republicans. If you combine those two, they would have 19%. What is all this saying?
Well, I think a couple things. It's early, number one. Katie Porter has some really good name recognition. Some of the others do not. Hilton and Bianco also have some good name recognition. I don't think endorsements really matter that much. In fact, there's we have a tale of the tape with us that the earlier you get an endorsement, the worse it is for you.
Well, it could be. Let's bounce down to the bottom of that list. You have Betty Yee, Tony Atkins, and Tony Thurmond all like at 2% and 1%. If you're that low early in the California politics sign, there you go. That's not good at all. I mean, at that point, if you were managing any of these three or their press attaché, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them you got to raise a lot of money and start getting your name out there a little bit more, because that's what a lot of this is name recognition. I mean, those of us who work in politics, of course, we know all these people quite well. Tony Atkins has been both the Assembly Speaker and the Senate Pro Tem. I mean, on and on, right? That does not mean that the average person in the middle of the state knows who they are.
Not at all. You may have done a great job, but your name isn't popping out.
Absolutely. Katie Porter and her whiteboard have more name recognition than all of these other folks combined.
Well, the world could be in a different place in the time this rolls around here.
Absolutely true.
And you got these two Republicans that are just right there right now.
And with a lot of money.
With a lot of money. Okay, Rich Eisen, we thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that.
A lot of the places I visit on my travels are suggestions from viewers who watch the show. But in the case of this story, my sister texted me a Google Maps pin and a video. That pin drop took me to a forest just outside of Hillsboro, Oregon, where satellite images show a jetliner surrounded by trees.
Did a plane crash here?
Hello, I'm Bruce. Nothing's private. You may explore anywhere.
This is definitely not a plane wreck. In fact, this Boeing 727 jetliner was placed here intentionally by Bruce Campbell.
Why is this in the middle of the forest here?
This is my home. It's a Boeing 727-200 jetliner, retired at Athens International Airport in Greece. I purchased it. Teams and I brought it here. It's my home. When I'm in America, this is home.
Bruce is obviously not your usual homeowner, and a jetliner is not your usual home, but Bruce would like to change that.
They're readily available. About 3 retire from service every day. Mostly they're just flown to a scrapyard and shredded. And it's a shame because they make great homes, aerospace class homes. Let's try these.
Bruce is a retired electrical engineer with a background in aviation, and for more than a decade now, he's been giving visitors tours of his airplane home in hopes they would consider building one themselves.
Want a Kaishin, Ma? Yeah, good.
Bruce is more than hospitable, always welcoming people from around the world who speak different languages. But like in anyone's home, Bruce does have some rules.
Please don't touch any exposed circuits. Also, the futon sofa with the purple blanket back there is for freshly showered naked bodies only. If you're not freshly showered and naked, please don't sit there. I sleep there. It's not for outdoor clothes.
Okay, now that we got the rules out of the way, visitors are free to move about the cabin, the cockpit, and even the top of the plane. And while you explore, Bruce will spout out some fun facts about this Boeing 727.
We're in the cabin area now, the forward cabin area, and you can see a few seats from the original aircraft, one of which Jacqueline Kinney Onassis Keister was in, because the very last flight for the owner of the airline, Aristotle Onassis, was in this particular aircraft.
After the assassination of JFK, Jackie Kennedy married Greek shipping mogul and airline owner Aristotle Onassis. The two flew this plane, and it was eventually used during Onassis's funeral procession.
And then his body was carried in this aircraft back to Greece for his burial.
The plane was retired in 1999, and that's when Bruce got a hold of it.
The aircraft retired at Athens International Airport in Greece, was flown to Hillsborough Airport about 20 kilometers away for the project.
Bruce says if he had the chance to do it all over again, he would have landed the plane on his property. Instead, he had to dismantle the jet in the middle of the night and then truck the jetliner to where it is now.
Once having done that, we fished our way by towing through a very carefully planned route through downtown Hillsborough with just centimeters to spare.
After a whole lot of moving and reconstruction work, Bruce planted trees around the plane and then moved in. How much square footage? How big is this thing?
The interior cabin space is 99 square meters. For people who dislike meters, 1,066 square feet.
The goal behind Bruce's airplane home is to show the benefits of repurposing decommissioned jets.
You can make an entire project, you can fabricate a jetliner home for a total cost of about $100,000 for aircraft of about this size.
Bruce will be the first to admit this project was a bit of a learning process.
It's a hack job.
But Bruce is already planning to build a new airplane home, version 2 as he calls it, and he's sharing the detailed plans on how to acquire and build one yourself on his website.
Which we hope will send planet Earth into a new era in which all retired jetliners are used as homes, small businesses, or at least emergency provision shelters.
Well, whether you're building an airplane home or just visiting because your sister told you to, Bruce says stop by any time for a free tour.
It's actually better for me if people simply spontaneously visit.
From the airplane home in Hillsborough, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks for watching ABC10 Plus this week. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Hey, Joanna.
I don't have much to say right now. We're back. 911, what's the emergency?
I think someone's dead. My passenger just came out of the top. It's really hard.
Wife? Do we know what happened to her?
No, we don't.
Do you believe that Joanna died by suicide?
I know that she did not.
What did he do to her?
He didn't take her down. He didn't try CPR. That's troubling.
The question is, how many of those factors exist? If all 10 of them exist, those cases are always a homicide. Always.
There absolutely was a proper investigation. I think it's a captivating story, but at this point, it is a story. There is no evidence to support that.
They missed the evidence. That is the murder weapon. What a mistake.
But you know, Joanna's story is not really unfolding only in Sacramento.
Experts say there could be as many as 1,200 hidden homicides.
I didn't realize that this was a huge issue.